Mark from Oregon. Is this the same Mark from Oregon that called in before? Or is this a different Mark from Oregon?
No, this is a different Mark.
Oh, wow. 2 Marks from Oregon tonight. That's interesting. What a coinky dink.
I see. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Mark, what's up?
Hello, guys. Okay. Oh, sorry. Technical difficulties here. Thank you for taking my call, boys. I'm a longtime atheist, and I also believe in ETs, and it's something I've been kind of quiet about talking about with other atheists because, one thing doesn't go with the other.
I mean,
it can.
It can.
You would wait until 10 minutes before the end of the show to call in with this, wouldn't you?
Well, to be fair, he was in the lines for a little bit here.
Okay.
We're just now picking him now, but
a little bit. Especially because now that the new UFO footage from the Air Force has come out, and there's more and more visual evidence that there is something actually in our skies that we can't explain.
Yeah.
And for years, I've had experiences with those objects. They would appear around me, and sometimes I felt that there was a telepathic communication going on.
Ooh.
Where they would tell me, I don't know, just various things, who they are, they're here, come and look at me, type of things, step outside. And so it's been occurring since probably the early 90s that this has been happening to me and to my family.
And your family? Your family's had telepathic experiences too?
Well, they've had more visual experiences. I don't know if they have had telepathic experiences. I have shown objects in the sky to friends, to family, and I'm not just talking about high flyers that look like a satellite. I'm talking about actual, a ship, I'm calling it, that was above me that was so massive, I felt like I could stand up my car and touch it, and it was so big that I really couldn't see the entirety of it as it flew over me. And I've had other times where I've had like orbs. I would call them like they would be almost like drones that flew around at kind of high speed, and I would always be drawn to those objects. I could usually see them and spot them and point them out to other people if they are around.
When you say you showed them to people, like, did you take pictures of them and show them to them, or were you just like, "Hey, come on out here, you got to check this thing out"?
Yes, I've actually had people, my neighbors. I used to live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's where my experiences started in that state. And my particular neighbors where I lived in Albuquerque, on both sides of me, at one time or another, I had them out in the front yard as a set of glasses, binoculars, looking at objects in the sky, and my neighbors never talked to me about it ever again. They just handed the glasses back to me and walked away.
If you're gonna see shit in the sky, it'd probably be in New Mexico. They're testing all kinds of stuff out there. They got Area 51 and all that. So I could see that happening.
I understand that. I understand that. I lived in Albuquerque, and I lived on the west side of the city, and so they call it the West Mesa. It's a river valley, so we're up kind of high. On the east side of Albuquerque is an Air Force base. It used to be, it's called Kirtland Air Force Base. It also has Sandia Labs there. And back in the day when they were developing the bomb, this is one of the locations that it was the high, security area where this bomb would be transferred around the United States. So there are bunkers, and there are things on the east side of Albuquerque, the base of the mountains, that you can see from the west side with high-powered glasses, planes flying in and out of bunkers. They don't even stop. I've seen ships fly over the Rio Grande River Valley at night, no lights, no nothing, go into these bunkers. And usually you can see that on when it's a bright moonlight. Of course, if it's black, you can't see anything.
Yeah, I mean...
So I do...
To me, that just sounds like an example of military testing. I don't know how that would have to be extraterrestrial necessarily in nature.
I want to ask you too, Mark, like you say that you've been seeing these phenomena since the 90s, right? So you must sort of expect it or anticipate it. Like, how much actual data have you collected? Have you got pictures? Have you got video? And if not, why not?
I've attempted to take pictures of it, but I can't get my camera to take a photograph. Now, I don't know if you guys are old enough, but back in the 90s, when you'd have your film developed, they would give you an index card with like tiny little thumbprints on there of all the photos. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I'm 41. Yeah,
anyway.
I remember.
Okay, so I would take pictures of these things, of these objects in the sky, and my index card would show me a blank space on that photo reel. And so I could take a picture of the object in the sky, take a second picture of a plane in the sky, take a third picture of the UFO that came back, and both pictures on either side of the plane are blank on the film. So that was one reason I couldn't take pictures of it with a camera. I tried using a videotape video player one time. My sister had a high quality camera, and one night there was a triangle ship over Albuquerque I saw. So I drove to her house. She lived near me. Got the camera. We'd point the camera. We'd hooked it all up to the monitor. We'd point the camera at the object in the sky, and the overexposure light on the camera would turn on, and we'd lose the picture on the screen. And so I'd move the camera, the picture would come back, but then I'd put the camera back on the object, and the picture would blank out. And so that's my experiences many, many times with objects when they were close enough to take a picture.
So you think it's deliberate sabotage?
Yes, I do. I think that these things, these entities, are able to perceive the environment around them, and they can do something. I can't explain the technology. I'm just guessing. They do something to prevent their image from being captured on video.
So does that mean that every image that we have of UFOs currently isn't real, because otherwise they would be blocking it out?
That's what I was going to ask. Like, why would they block the average person from catching footage, but then allow the U.S. Navy to get it?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
do you have any thought? I'm not trying to make fun of you, Mark. I'm just honestly asking a question.
Oh, I understand that. And, I can't explain why or what for that they do this to me. But I have seen photos of UFOs that I have personally seen in the sky, and they're photos that I have never seen before. Okay? So I don't want to sound like a total wacko, but since the early 90s, I have seen hundreds of objects in the sky that are not planes, they're not helicopters. I've seen missiles fired from White Sands to Utah in the sky. I've seen the space station flying across the sky. I've seen a lot of things, and the objects I'm talking about don't ever match basic aerodynamic qualities that we're used to in aircraft. And I'm not saying I'm a professional, but what I do know is that I've identified things that I have never seen before, and I've seen U.S. Air Force jets chasing these objects before. And I like I said, I don't want to sound like the complete wacko, but I moved to Oregon. I left Albuquerque in 2001, moved to Oregon, and lo and behold, I had sightings here as well. And so one place I want to turn you guys on to is, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but there's a ranch in Washington close to Mount Adams. It's called ESETI. And my friend James Gilliland has this ranch, and you can go up there and see objects flying in and around that mountain. And it's you can't explain it. You can look at that place in the daytime. There are no roads. It's a huge volcanic mountain, and you can see objects. And this is one place where anybody can go and see something that you
Mark,
to say, I don't know what that was, man.
Mark, can I ask you a favor? Can you call in the next time I'm on Truth Wanted and maybe get in the queue a little earlier, please?
Or start posting some of the stuff on the Truth Wanted fan group so everybody else can see some of this stuff too. Because
you know what they say, right? Like, pics or it didn't happen, Mark.
No, that's totally true. Yeah. I'll say this much, Mark, because it's hard for me to talk about anecdote on this show and speculate, right? For me personally, people seeing objects in the sky is not enough for me to be convinced of the extraterrestrial at this point, because there's just so much ambiguity when it comes to the evidence for these kinds of claims. At this point, it would have to be some sort of personal contact that's verifiable in some way. Because I like everybody has seen objects in the sky that they can't explain at some point in their life or another, whether they're actively looking for it or not. So it's just not enough for me personally. Now, I haven't been to this ranch and I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, if there's extraterrestrials, I'm and maybe this is too high of a standard for me as a skeptic to have, but like I'd have to see some real evidence of actual contact and not just like stuff that you see, you know. But that's what it would personally take for me.
I understand that, and I'm just telling you about the visual contact that I've had with these ETs. My life has been filled with personal contact that I can't prove. It's been filled with other sightings and situations that I can't prove that makes me believe that there is something different out there. Now, I know you can question whatever's in the sky. I talked to you about my friend James. He actually has a website. It's called eseti.org. Go to the website, check it out, and I can for a fact say that I saw things at that ranch that just, boggle the mind. And
Mark, if it's happened before, it's bound to happen again. So keep your cell phone ready, buddy, and post it to our Truth Wanted fan page. I want to see this.
We'll talk.
I want to see it.
We can have some more conversations on there. But Mark, unfortunately, we are at the end of the time we got left for this show here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. But thank you for calling in and telling us about your experiences. That's fun. Oh. That's cool.
Dan, I didn't even tell you this. I actually saw a UFO once myself. I've encountered aliens myself. I was camping and just wandered into the forest, into a clearing, and there was these people standing around. They're wearing really weird clothes, strange music, and I was like, "This." I thought it was a UFO, but it turned out I had just wandered into a Bjork concert.
Wow, a Bjork joke. A Bjork joke. That's a first for this show. My goodness. We don't talk about Bjork enough on here. That's great. Well, Nate, I'm glad. Did you enjoy the concert at least? Did you get there? Did you get kicked out?
A little bit. I wasn't high enough, so they told me I had to go take some more mushrooms and come back. But
okay, that makes sense. I could see that happening. Well, yeah, I don't want to belittle anybody's personal experiences to what they believe are contact with something from beyond or whatever, but I do want to see it. I want to see it, and I want to have frank discussions about it too. And eliminate any possibilities towards other explanations being the cause there. So anybody that has that kind of stuff, post it on the fan group there, because again, there's only so much we can do on a call-in show to really talk about those kinds of experiences.